Why nothing in life is random: the Buddhist perspective on fate and free will. Introduction: the search for meaning in life's chaos. Have you ever faced a moment so unexpected, so painful, that you found yourself asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Or "What did I do to deserve this?" Perhaps a sudden loss, a failed dream, or an unforeseen challenge left you questioning the fairness of life. What if I told you that nothing happens by chance? That every event, no matter how confusing or painful, plays a role in shaping your journey. Buddhism teaches us that life is not random. Everything we experience is woven into a greater pattern, guided by impermanence, karma, and our own attachments. But here's the real question: are we resisting life's flow, or are we learning from it? This is not just a philosophical idea, it is a practical tool for transformation. Understanding the nature of acceptance is only the first step. Applying it is where real peace begins. Let's embark on this journey together, uncovering the wisdom behind letting go, embracing change, and finding true inner peace. The law of impermanence, embracing the flow of life. Introduction: the unavoidable truth of change. Have you ever wished that a beautiful moment could last forever? Or found yourself struggling with a painful loss, unable to accept the new reality? Change is one of the few constants in life, yet it is also one of the hardest things for us to embrace. We crave stability, certainty, and permanence, even though everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Buddhism teaches us the principle of anicca, or impermanence, which states that nothing remains the same. Our emotions, relationships, successes, and even our bodies are all evolving. Suffering arises when we resist this truth and try to hold on to things that are inevitably slipping away. Through this exploration, we will uncover practical ways to embrace change, real-life stories that illustrate the power of letting go, and concrete steps to cultivate a mindset that welcomes transformation instead of fearing it. Understanding impermanence, the natural flow of life. Imagine standing by a river. The water flows ceaselessly, adapting to the terrain, finding new paths when obstacles arise. The river never fights the changes in its course, it simply moves forward. Nature itself operates on this principle. Trees shed their leaves in autumn, trusting that new ones will grow in spring. The sun sets, only to rise again the next morning. Yet, humans struggle with this natural flow. We attach ourselves to routines, identities, and relationships, expecting them to stay the same. But life, like the river, moves forward whether we resist it or not. The cost of resisting change. Why do we resist change? The answer lies in our deep-seated fears: fear of the unknown, fear of loss, fear of being unprepared. But ironically, clinging to what is familiar often causes more suffering than embracing transformation. Think about a relationship that has run its course but is being held together out of fear. The unwillingness to let go creates resentment, stagnation, and unhappiness for both individuals. Or consider someone who refuses to leave a toxic work environment because they are afraid of starting over, only to suffer from stress, burnout, and unfulfillment. Resisting change doesn't preserve happiness, it often destroys it. Personal story: the job that defined me. Several years ago, I had a job that I believed was my ultimate calling. It gave me financial stability, respect, and a sense of purpose. I felt invincible until one day, I was laid off. It came as a shock, leaving me lost and questioning my worth. For weeks, I was trapped in a cycle of self-pity, replaying the moment I lost my job and resenting the unfairness of it all. My mind was filled with thoughts like, if only I had done things differently and this shouldn't be happening to me. But over time, I realized that my suffering wasn't coming from losing my job, it was coming from my resistance to reality. Once I let go of the past and accepted the change, new doors began to open. I explored different paths, rediscovered my passions, and eventually found a career that was far more aligned with who I had become. Looking back, losing that job was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It forced me to evolve, to see beyond my limited perspective, and to embrace the possibilities that change brings. Lessons from impermanence: how to accept change. Change is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The key is learning how to navigate transitions with grace and wisdom. Here are practical ways to cultivate a mindset of acceptance. 1. Mindfulness practice. Instead of reacting impulsively to change, observe your emotions. Feel them, but don't let them control you. Take deep breaths and ground yourself in the present moment rather than dwelling on the past or fearing the future. 2. Reframing the narrative. Shift your perspective from "why is this happening to me?" to "what can I learn from this?" Every challenge holds a hidden lesson, seek to uncover it. 3. Letting go rituals. Write down what you are holding onto: a past relationship, a job, an old version of yourself. Then, symbolically release it by burning the paper, tearing it up, or burying it. This act serves as a mental and emotional release. 4. Embracing uncertainty with curiosity. View change as an adventure rather than a threat. Ask yourself, what new opportunities might this bring? Who can I become through this process? 5. Seeking support and guidance. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth and adaptation. Read books, listen to talks, or seek spiritual guidance on embracing impermanence. A story of letting go: the farmer and his horse. There is an old Zen story of a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors said, "What terrible luck." But the farmer simply replied, "Maybe." A few days later, the horse returned with several wild horses. The neighbors exclaimed, "What great fortune!" Again, the farmer said, "Maybe." The farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses and broke his leg. The neighbors lamented, "How unfortunate." But the farmer, as always, said, "Maybe." Soon after, the army came to recruit young men for war but passed over the farmer's son due to his injury. The neighbors rejoiced, "How lucky you are." And once again, the farmer simply said, "Maybe." The story teaches that life's events are neither inherently good nor bad, it is our perception that labels them as such. By adopting a mindset of neutrality and openness, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Conclusion: trusting the flow of life. Impermanence is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Just as the river flows, just as the seasons change, so too must we allow ourselves to evolve. Next time life shifts in an unexpected way, instead of resisting, pause and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? The more we lean into change, the more we realize that every ending is simply a new beginning in disguise. Let's engage in this journey together. Share your thoughts. What is one change in your life that turned out to be a blessing in disguise? I'd love to hear your story. 2. Karma, the law of cause and effect. Introduction: moving beyond superstition. Karma is one of the most misunderstood concepts in spiritual traditions. Many perceive it as a mystical force that punishes or rewards individuals based on past deeds. However, in its true essence, karma is not about divine judgment but about cause and effect, a universal principle as natural as gravity. Every action, thought, and word we put into the world generates an outcome, shaping our experiences and the lives of those around us. Understanding karma requires shifting away from superstition and embracing the reality that our choices create ripples that extend far beyond what we can immediately perceive. The key to harnessing karma lies in conscious, intentional living, aligning our actions with kindness, integrity, and wisdom. The ripple effect of actions. Think of a calm lake. When a stone is thrown into the water, ripples spread outward, touching every part of the surface. Similarly, our choices, both big and small, create ripples in our lives. Some results manifest immediately, while others unfold over time, sometimes in ways we don't expect. For instance, a person who consistently speaks with kindness and encouragement unknowingly cultivates an environment of positivity. Over time, this influences their relationships, career, and overall well-being. On the other hand, someone who frequently acts out of anger or deceit eventually encounters the consequences of their actions, whether through lost trust, conflict, or emotional distress. Personal story: a simple act that came full circle. Years ago, I met an elderly woman struggling to carry her groceries up a long flight of stairs. Without thinking much, I offered to help. She thanked me with a warmth that I can still remember vividly. It was a small moment, one that I quickly forgot. Months later, I found myself in a difficult situation at an airport, about to miss my flight due to a long security line. Just as I was losing hope, an airline employee unexpectedly pulled me aside and guided me through a faster checkpoint. As I boarded, I recognized the face. It was the grandson of the elderly woman I had helped. He remembered me and chose to repay a kindness I had long forgotten. Was this coincidence, or was it karma? This experience taught me that the energy we put into the world finds its way back to us, often in unexpected ways. Common misconceptions about karma. 1. Karma is not instant punishment or reward. People often expect immediate results, good or bad, but karma operates on its own timeline. Just because someone seemingly gets away with wrongdoing does not mean they are free from consequence. The effects of karma may take years, even lifetimes, to fully manifest. 2. Karma is not fate. Some believe that karma determines everything, leaving no room for free will. In reality, while past actions influence the present, we always have the power to shape our future through mindful choices. 3. Karma is not just about past lives. While some traditions associate karma with reincarnation, its effects are evident in our daily lives. Our habits, mindset, and behaviors continuously create the conditions for future experiences. Practical ways to cultivate good karma. If every action creates an effect, then the path to a fulfilling life lies in conscious and compassionate choices. Here are some practical steps to align your karma with positivity. 1. Practice mindful speech. Words carry energy. Use them to uplift, encourage, and bring clarity. Before speaking, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? 2. Act with compassion. Small acts of kindness create profound ripples. Whether it's helping a stranger, expressing gratitude, or showing patience, every positive act reinforces a cycle of goodness. 3. Take responsibility for your actions. Instead of blaming circumstances or others, acknowledge how your choices have shaped your life. By accepting responsibility, you empower yourself to create change. 4. Let go of the need for immediate outcomes. Not every good deed will yield an instant reward, and not every challenge is a punishment. Trust that actions accumulate over time. 5. Surround yourself with positive influences. Just as we influence others, we are also shaped by those around us. Choose environments and people that encourage growth, kindness, and wisdom. A story of unexpected karma: the man who saved an ant. A Buddhist monk once observed a man stopping on a rainy day to carefully lift an ant from a puddle and place it safely on dry land. The act was so small that even the man himself forgot about it. Years later, while traveling, the same man found himself stepping onto a busy road when, out of nowhere, a stranger pulled him back just in time to avoid an oncoming car. Startled, he turned to thank his rescuer only to realize it was the same monk who had witnessed his act of kindness years before. Was this merely a coincidence, or was it the ripple effect of compassion returning at the right moment? Conclusion: becoming conscious architects of our lives. Karma is not about luck, fate, or divine punishment. It is about cause and effect, choice and consequence. Every moment presents an opportunity to plant seeds that will shape our future. If we cultivate mindfulness, kindness, and integrity, we set in motion forces that create a life of meaning and fulfillment. Rather than waiting for karma to reward or punish us, let's take responsibility for the energy we put into the world. What choices are you making today that will shape your tomorrow? Share your thoughts. Have you ever experienced a moment when karma seemed to come full circle in your life? 3. Attachment and suffering, learning to let go. Introduction: the hidden chains of attachment. Have you ever felt devastated when something you loved was lost? A cherished relationship ends, a prized possession breaks, or a dream slips away. In those moments, the pain feels overwhelming. But have you ever stopped to ask, why does this suffering exist? Buddhism teaches that the root of suffering, dukkha, lies in attachment. We cling to people, possessions, identities, and beliefs, hoping they will stay forever. But reality tells a different story. Everything in life is impermanent. When we resist this truth, we invite suffering. By learning to let go, not in a way that diminishes love or appreciation, but in a way that frees us from unnecessary pain, we can cultivate inner peace. In this discussion, we will explore the nature of attachment, share personal stories of transformation, and offer practical steps to practice detachment in daily life. Understanding attachment: why do we hold on? Attachment is deeply ingrained in human nature. We form emotional bonds with loved ones, material objects, and even ideas. This attachment gives us comfort and security. However, problems arise when we become overly dependent on these things for happiness. Imagine someone who treasures a beautiful vase passed down from their grandmother. One day, it slips and shatters. The emotional pain they feel isn't just about the object itself, it's about the memories, identity, and stability they associated with it. The same applies to relationships. When we become attached to a person, we fear losing them. This fear often leads to jealousy, possessiveness, and even suffering when things change, as they inevitably do. The broken cup philosophy, a story of acceptance. Ajahn Chah, a renowned Buddhist monk, once held up a cup and said, "To me, this cup is already broken." At first, his students were confused. The cup was perfectly fine. But Ajahn Chah explained, he already accepted that one day, the cup would chip, crack, or shatter. By embracing its impermanence now, he freed himself from future sorrow. This philosophy applies to everything in life. If we accept that relationships, possessions, and even our own bodies are impermanent, we stop grasping so tightly. We learn to appreciate things as they are in the present moment, rather than fearing their loss. Personal story: letting go of a relationship. Years ago, I was in a deeply loving relationship. We shared dreams, laughter, and the belief that we would always be together. But life had different plans. Slowly, we grew apart, and the relationship ended. I was heartbroken. The pain wasn't just from losing the person I was grieving, the future I had envisioned. For months, I resisted reality, holding on to old memories and wishing things were different. But one day, I came across Ajahn Chah's teaching. To me, this cup is already broken. It struck me deeply. I realized I had been clinging not to the person, but to an idea of permanence that never truly existed. Once I accepted that love, like everything else, evolves and changes, I felt lighter. I stopped resisting, started appreciating the time we had, and moved forward with gratitude instead of sorrow. Why attachment leads to suffering. When we attach ourselves to something, we set ourselves up for inevitable suffering. Here's why. 1. Fear of loss. When we cling too tightly, we constantly fear losing what we have. This anxiety prevents us from enjoying the present. 2. Resistance to change. Life is dynamic. When we refuse to accept change, we create unnecessary suffering. 3. Illusion of control. We believe that if we hold on tight enough, we can prevent things from slipping away. But the truth is, control is an illusion. Practical ways to cultivate detachment. Letting go does not mean becoming indifferent. It means appreciating life fully without grasping. Here's how to practice detachment in everyday life. 1. Appreciate without possessing. Love people deeply but understand they are not yours to keep. Relationships flourish when built on freedom, not control. Enjoy material possessions but recognize they are temporary. 2. Simplify your life. Declutter both physically and emotionally. Holding on to excess possessions and past resentments only weighs you down. Ask yourself, does this add value to my life, or am I afraid of losing it? 3. Meditate on impermanence. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on change. Observe how thoughts, emotions, and external circumstances constantly shift. By embracing impermanence, we train our minds to flow with life rather than against it. 4. Practice generosity. Give freely without expecting anything in return. The act of giving naturally cultivates detachment. Donate items you no longer need. Release attachments to material things and experience the joy of simplicity. 5. Let go of the past. Accept that the past cannot be changed. Instead of replaying regrets, focus on what you can do now. Holding on to resentment only keeps wounds open. Forgiveness is a powerful act of letting go. A story of true freedom, the monkey trap. In Southeast Asia, hunters catch monkeys using a simple trick. They place a banana inside a narrow neck jar. The monkey reaches in, grabs the banana, but cannot pull its hand out unless it lets go. The monkey, unwilling to release its prize, remains trapped. This is how attachment works. We hold on so tightly to things, possessions, relationships, status, past mistakes that we become trapped in our own suffering. True freedom comes when we open our hands and let go. Conclusion: the path to inner peace. Letting go does not mean loving less. It means loving more freely. It means enjoying life's moments fully, without clinging to them in fear. By embracing impermanence, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain and open our hearts to deeper peace. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that is causing me suffering? What would happen if you simply let go? Share your thoughts. What's one thing you've learned to release, and how has it changed your life? 4. Acceptance, the key to inner peace. Introduction: the power of true acceptance. Have you ever found yourself resisting reality? Maybe you've experienced loss, unexpected change, or a situation that felt deeply unfair. The instinctive reaction is often to fight against it, to wish things were different, to dwell in frustration. But what if the path to peace lies not in resistance, but in acceptance? Acceptance is not about giving up or being passive. It is about seeing reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. When we embrace what we cannot change, we release unnecessary suffering and open the door to inner peace. Through this discussion, we will explore the meaning of true acceptance, share stories that illustrate its transformative power, and offer practical steps to integrate acceptance into daily life. Understanding acceptance, flowing with life instead of resisting it. Buddhism teaches that much of human suffering arises from resistance to reality. We wish things were different, replay past mistakes, or worry about an uncertain future. But resistance is like standing in a strong river, trying to push against the current. It only exhausts us. Imagine life as a flowing river. If we fight the current, we struggle and suffer. But if we learn to navigate the flow, we move with greater ease. Acceptance is not passive resignation, it is an active choice to stop wasting energy on things beyond our control and to focus instead on what we can change. The story of the farmer's luck, a lesson in acceptance. There is an old Zen story about a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors exclaimed, "What bad luck!" But the farmer simply said, "Who knows if it is good or bad?" A few days later, the horse returned, bringing several wild horses with it. The neighbors celebrated, "What great fortune!" But again, the farmer remained neutral, replying, "Who knows?" Soon after, the farmer's son tried to tame one of the wild horses and fell, breaking his leg. The neighbors lamented, "How unfortunate." Still, the farmer responded, "Who knows?" Weeks later, soldiers came to recruit young men for war but spared the farmer's son due to his injury. The neighbors now declared, "You are so lucky." Yet again, the farmer said, "Who knows?" The story teaches that life's events are interconnected, and their true meaning often unfolds over time. What seems like misfortune today may lead to unexpected blessings tomorrow. Acceptance allows us to remain open and at peace, regardless of circumstances. Personal story, when life didn't go as planned. Years ago, I had meticulously planned my future career, relationships, and personal goals. Everything seemed to be going according to schedule until life took an unexpected turn. A major project I had poured my heart into failed. A close friendship ended. My plans unraveled, leaving me lost and disheartened. For months, I resisted reality. I replayed what-if scenarios, blaming myself and circumstances. But one day, I came across the story of the farmer and his horse. It made me pause. What if, instead of viewing these events as setbacks, I saw them as part of a larger journey? What if, instead of clinging to my old plans, I accepted the path unfolding before me? The moment I let go of resistance, things shifted. I started seeing new opportunities, deepened my self-awareness, and realized that what I once saw as a loss was actually making space for something better. Years later, I look back and realize that those so-called failures led me to a path more fulfilling than I could have imagined. The lesson? Acceptance doesn't just bring peace, it allows life to reveal its hidden gifts. Why resistance causes suffering? 1. We waste energy fighting the inevitable. Resisting reality doesn't change it. It only drains our emotional and mental well-being. 2. We create unnecessary stress, holding on to frustration, regret, or control over what we cannot change adds to our suffering. 3. We close ourselves off to growth. When we resist, we limit our ability to adapt and learn from our experiences. Acceptance doesn't mean we like or agree with everything that happens. It simply means we stop resisting what is beyond our control and focus on responding with wisdom and grace. Practical ways to cultivate acceptance. 1. Distinguish what you can change vs. what you cannot. Write down your worries and categorize them. Is this within my control? If not, practice letting it go. Shift focus to actionable steps for things you can influence. 2. Use meditation to observe and release resistance. Practice mindfulness meditation. When thoughts of resistance arise, acknowledge them, but don't engage. Try a simple breathing exercise. As you inhale, think accept. As you exhale, think let go. 3. Trust that every event holds a hidden lesson. Reflect on past challenges. How did they shape you? What unexpected opportunities arose? Embrace uncertainty with curiosity rather than fear. 4. Reframe negative experiences. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can this teach me?" Shift from victim mindset to a perspective of growth and resilience. 5. Practice radical acceptance in daily life. Next time something doesn't go as planned, instead of reacting negatively, pause and say, "This is what is happening. How do I choose to respond?" Develop a habit of gratitude, even for challenges. They shape and strengthen us. A story of surrender, the fisherman's patience. A fisherman sat by the river, casting his net. One day, a sudden storm arrived, causing the river to rage. Instead of fighting the waters, the fisherman pulled his boat to shore and waited. Others, who resisted the storm, lost their boats and their catch. When asked why he did not fight against the storm, the fisherman smiled and said, "You cannot stop the river. You can only learn when to sail and when to wait." Life is like that river. The more we fight, the more we struggle. The more we accept, the more we flow. Conclusion: the gift of acceptance. True acceptance is not weakness, it is wisdom. It frees us from unnecessary suffering and opens the door to peace. When we stop resisting reality, we find that life has a natural rhythm, leading us exactly where we need to be. Ask yourself, what am I resisting right now? What would happen if I simply accepted it? Let's start a conversation. Have you ever experienced a moment when acceptance changed everything for you? Share your story below. Transforming suffering into wisdom. Buddhism is not about escaping suffering, it is about transforming it. When we embrace impermanence, understand karma, let go of attachments, and practice acceptance, we navigate life with greater wisdom and peace. No matter what you are facing right now, know that every experience carries a lesson. Struggles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. The more we learn to flow with life rather than resist it, the more we unlock our true inner strength. What you can do today: start a gratitude journal. Take a few moments each day to write down things you appreciate. Practice mindful breathing. Ground yourself in the present moment and let go of unnecessary worries. Perform one selfless act. A simple act of kindness can create a positive ripple in the world. Remember, life does not happen to you, it happens for you. Every moment, every challenge, every joy is an opportunity to grow. The journey of acceptance is ongoing, and each step forward brings you closer to inner peace. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts below. We would love to hear your insights. And if you found value in this discussion, consider liking this post, sharing it with someone who might benefit, and subscribing for more wisdom on mindfulness, acceptance, and living with purpose. What topics would you like us to explore next? Let us know, and we'll continue this journey together.